Shove it, man!
Shove It Squad, just a little mini-series to finish off for your view and pleasure. Remember British Bootcamp, that reality TV show TNA tried to make where they tried to find the next British wrestling star? Well, they actually made a second season. This one aired in 2014. It's hard to believe this happened with TNA on a massive downturn in fortunes at the time. But the first British Bootcamp was a success over here, so why not make a second one? Confusingly, this doesn't follow the same format as the last show, where they focused on 4 individual wrestlers last time. This time, there's loads. No sign of Dixie Carter or the Hawk on this one either, so you'll just have to make do with Al Snow. It's not quite the same thing, I know. I've decided to split this up across 2 episodes because the individual episodes are an hour long compared to half an hour last time, and there's 8 episodes now compared to 6 last time. It all kicks off with the winner of the last season of British Bootcamp, Rockstar Spud. He says 2 years ago he was working in a bank, but now he's working in New York City. I wouldn't really class TNA as a New York promotion. Unless, did he have a job on the side in New York? Was he like at a sunglasses hut like Taylor Wilde? Who knows? We're now introduced to the judges for this programme. It's Al Snow, who does at least make sense of his Tough Enough history. Gail Kim, I guess because she's the most famous TNA knockout. And Samoa Joe, because they didn't have anything better for him to do. So the new format for this show is it'll be split up into 3 rounds. The charisma round, the wrestling skill round, and then if they make it through the first 2 rounds, they get to wrestle in front of a live crowd to see if they get a chance to head over to the US. The judges arrive in the cheapest looking limo I've ever seen. The first contestant we meet is Kaylee Ray, who I'm sure most people are familiar with. She's apparently a part-time carer for a boy called Adam. I wonder what Adam's up to nowadays, hope he's all good. At the time, no female Scottish wrestler has ever signed with a major. Now on to the competition. Kaylee gets questioned by the judges. Al Snow, as always, asks, "How do you know this is something you want to do?" Gail criticises her for mainly only fighting men in the past and says she won't be doing that in TNA. Kaylee says that she's doing this for Adam. And it's as simple as that, she's put through to the next round. Now it's Simon Lancaster who says he's the one. Billy Gunn wants his gimmick back. This guy can barely speak, he keeps gritting his teeth like he's dumping in his nappy. Now he's screaming and cutting a promo. Why didn't Kaylee have to do this? The judges are trying to hold back their laughs. Al Snow says that he seems stiff and unnatural, but he'll let him through to the next round. Why? A very scared and timid looking Joe Vega is up next. He cuts a rambling, mumbling promo saying he's giving 100%. This guy needs a 100% punch to the gut. Samoa Joe says he wouldn't pay a dime to see him. They tell him to impress them physically and he starts running around and tries to do a flip from the corner, but he falls over. We now get an injury angle. Al Snow helps him out of the ring and sends him away. Hope the door doesn't hit him on the way out. The next contestant is Priscilla, the Queen of the Ring. He's got a bisexual gimmick. Actually not a gimmick, he is for real. He keeps calling Al Snow darling. He wants to be a role model for bisexual people, his words not mine. He keeps saying that he's a girl though, so I'm confused, and so is Priscilla. The judges aren't sure what to do, but they eventually side as he brings something different to the table and they're going to put him through. Oh look, it's Noam Dar. He gets a full intro package so you know that he's going through. His dad kisses him. The judges reveal they've actually heard of him. He reveals that he can speak the language of Hebrew. Al Snow tells him to cut a promo on Samoa Joe in Hebrew. No idea if this was good or not as I don't speak it. They look like they're about to kiss. This is enough to put him through. Now we get a bunch of wrestlers who failed. No idea who they are as they didn't have their names shown. What a bunch of geeks. Oh no, it's Grado, who of course gets a full intro package. He says he loves keeping fit. Can't love it that much. He sucks up to Gail Kim saying how great she is and he also harasses an Asian family, not Gail's family. He makes Samoa Joe sign some DVDs. He says he's one of the best professional wrestlers in the world and all the judges laugh at him. Grado does star jumps which seems to impress them for some reason. Another wrestler now is Nikki Storm, who I've heard of. She immediately starts kissing Gail Kim's well-toned ass. She cuts a promo on Gail Kim. She says she's a 10. Unfortunately, that isn't true. It's actually a good intense promo and the best on this show so far. Samoa Joe says that he's not convinced by her physicality. That isn't part of her I would have picked on. They tell her that she must pick up Al Snow to prove herself. She carries him around the ring, which makes Joe swell with happiness. Al Snow says that he's turned on now and they put her through to the next round. The best so far. Got a big bloke now called Mr. Tank. He basically just wants to sign them based on his look. Snow makes him do a workout and then cut a promo straight after. He gets told off for doing his squat thrust wrong. Unfortunately, he's breathing too hard to cut a good promo. He doesn't get through despite being better than several of the last wrestlers who got through. He gets to cut a sad promo next to Rockstar Spud about how he didn't get through and they look almost the same size, so his gimmick's now dead. The final girl is called Viper, currently signed to NXT UK actually. They say she's a sweet girl, which is almost an insult. She keeps saying she's been through some difficult circumstances, but the judges keep quizzing her on why that is. It turns out she lost some family, her business and her house. Jesus, this girl's had it hard. She cuts a great promo about being damaged goods. It's very emotional. The girls seem to be owning the men in this competition. Finally, the audition stage is over and we're moving on. Grado has not turned up and the judges say they don't care. They do basic wrestling drills. This gets put to a stop when Grado walks in late. He tells Al Snow he was grabbing a cup of tea. Grado looks like a little kid being told off by the head teacher. The snowman tells him to pick his bags up and leave while swearing at him. In the street, Rockstar Spud asks him why he was late, and Grado says because he was eating. Spud says he vomited on the first series, but he still turned up on time. You haven't heard the last of Grado, he says. Now Samoa Joe wrestles the guys, and this is where we get to see some of them start looking a bit worse in the ring. This only went on for a second, so it's hard to see what they're judging them on. Al Snow says he doesn't want to put Kaylee Ray through because she's not pretty enough. Gail Kim replies by saying you haven't seen her with makeup on yet. Jesus Christ, brutal, so uncalled for. They decide that Nikki Storm was the best wrestler out of all of them. This episode will end with the announcement of who will be going through to the finals in London. It's decided that Nikki Storm, Noam Dar and Kaylee Ray will be going through to the next round. This was the right decision. They like Viper, but they're worried that she didn't have the conditioning. Bit of a shame as she was better than the other two. On to episode 2, which is exactly the same format as the first episode, except it's in Manchester. First was in Scotland, alright? Home of wrestling bios. Melanie Price is the first girl up. She's doing a cheap Paris Hilton gimmick. She says she's a model. What the hell is wrong with those eyebrows? You aren't a model. Gail tells her she likes her character and she'll put her through to the next round. Now it's El Ligero who flies around the ring. Yet another person who was in NXT UK. Snow says even though he doesn't speak English, he's going to try to interview him. Then they change their mind and make him do some acrobatics instead. This is somehow enough to put him through. Heather Schofield is here now, who's a championship bodybuilder, and she says that she has 1 day of wrestling training. Gail tells her as she can't wrestle, she needs to have a personality. Oh, this bit is so cringy. She tells her to cut a promo, and all that Heather Schofield says is, I'm going to kick Kim's ass. Snow says you're beautiful, but it's a no. Spud asks her if she's going to keep trying to become a wrestler, and she says that she is. It was unknown if this happened or not. Matt Fick's up next, who's apparently doing this for his granddad who passed away. He says in 4 years he's not seen much progress and it's frustrating him. Joe asks him if that's a reflection on him being hard to deal with. Snow says he thinks he's a self-pitying prick and makes him cut a promo. The promo is whiny, bad, and it ends abruptly. They decide to say no, which was the right choice. There's this one small bold guy who says he's the Japanese sensation, but he's not even Japanese. They make him serenade Gail Kim. The small bald man and Chris Travis and the babyface Pitbull all go through now. Up next is a fat wrestler called Cyanide. He seems like a really nice guy to be fair. They question his conditioning and make him do 20 burpees followed by a promo. He's not even jumping. After 4 he says he won't be able to do 20. They make him try again and he does maybe 5 more, but they're all shocking. They send him away because of his conditioning and lack of effort. Joe says although he's also fat, there's still a level you need to be at. Afterwards, Spud asks him why he didn't try harder and Cyanide said he wasn't confident enough to try more. Now it's Rampage Brown, who I remembered was my favourite when I first watched this. He's also currently signed to NXT UK. He's a veteran who was invited onto this show by Samoa Joe, so it's a favouritism gimmick. The promo he cuts on Joe is one of the worst things I've ever heard. Based on this, he shouldn't go through, but Joe vouches for him despite his weak promo. The Nordic Warrior now, who is doing a Viking gimmick. Al Snow turns him down due to his bad gimmick, despite this currently being a thing in the WWE. A girl who has 3 kids also wants to be here. She's in great shape for a mother of 3 to be fair. Unfortunately, she messes up her promo and has a meltdown. Somehow she gets through despite her bad promo. It feels like they felt sorry for her. Afterwards, she's interviewed by Rockstar Spud and that blonde bodybuilder's here. So this was obviously taped in a different order. Bad continuity, TNA. So now the show comes out of the reality zone as Grado has come to Manchester. Gail Kim has to drag Al Snow away because he's so angry with him. Gail tells him he has to show his respect for the business and she'll talk to Al. As Grado heads down the staircase, his suitcase falls apart. So fake. Another familiar name is Mark Andrews. He's another one that they've already heard of. Al wants him to sing to Gail, but instead they make him do a rap. He screws that up almost straight away. Britain's Got Talent, this is not. Despite his screw up, he seems very confident. His promo's decent, and of course he moves on to the next round. Bad bunch of auditions overall. On to the in-ring portion. Straight away the girls are terrible. The girl with the eyebrows reveals she's only had 30 matches in 7 years and she can't do a hammerlock. Gail Kim sends them both away right on the spot. It goes a lot better with the rest of the men. Andrews is still impressing the most. Nothing else exciting really happens on the show. Mark Andrews, Rampage Brown, Chris Travis and Ligero all go through. Travis passed away in 2016 at the age of 32 from cancer. I had no idea before making this video. So that ends episode 2. Basically the same as the first show. Well, I hope you like the format of those last 2 shows, because show 3 is exactly the same too, except this time, it's in London. Ooh, edgy. We meet Dave the Bastard Mastiff, who's signed to NXT UK. They think he's going to be like Cyanide from earlier who didn't have the stamina. They make him do, guess what, burpees and a promo. Someone smack Al Snow on a attempt to shake up the format. The whole ring is shaking as he does it. Mastiff can actually do it though, to be fair, and they also liked his promo. Gail Kim says she has chills. Some more fat guys are here now, the Unnatural Disasters. They certainly aren't no Dave Mastiff. One of them looks like the Hunchback of Notre Dame. They tell them to dial back their screaming intensity. Al's being a cheapskate and says he doesn't want them both as TNA can't afford tag teams. The team say that they refuse to split up. Al Snow has concerns that they're too fat now. They won't take no for an answer and they say they can prove it. Al is a complete dick and refuses to give them an opportunity to prove themselves. I just think TNA couldn't afford 6 plane seats for these 2 guys. They then move on to bullying Rockstar Spud for a bit and they leave. Martin Stone up now and he looks miserable. He's just been kicked out of WWE Developmental. Joe says he's battled him in the past and as usual Stone cuts a promo. They like it and they say it's the best so far. Now who remembers the Blossom twins from British Bootcamp season 1? Well, this is the Owens twins. They call themselves the anti-Blossom twins. Gail calls them out on this and throws the Blossoms under the bus, saying that despite the TV time TNA gave the Blossoms, they let them down and packed it in. It doesn't matter anyway because the judges refuse to hire tag teams and say they can only take one Owens twin. After a quiz on who's going to go through, Al Snow does a U-turn and puts them both through. Wow, that's so harsh on the Natural Disasters from earlier. What was the justification for that? RJ Singh is the next guy to go through, and they say they like him, but he can't call himself the Asian sensation because Gail says that's her gimmick. We get highlights now of wrestlers cutting bad promos, apart from the Bakewell brothers who are really funny. We've also got Buff Bagwell impersonator, a vampire lady, an English patriot lady, and a couple of geeks. The Bakewell brothers are sent away and they complain and say, "What does everybody want? You to be quiet, Al Snow," which gets the loudest laugh of the show. Somehow this doesn't qualify them to advance into the next round though. Richard Parliament now, who has a political gimmick. He cuts a promo taking the mick out of Americans. He is also a supporter of the EU. For some reason they find him entertaining, but not the Bakewell brothers, despite them being similar gimmicks. Reluctantly, Al Snow passes him through. Nowadays, Richard Parliament can be found on the Top Hat Gaming channel on YouTube, so go check him out. Next up, we have Muscle Man Joel Rodman, who's from the West Country, which is the next best placed after God's County. His promo is weird and emotionless. He says he's not the biggest guy they've seen today. Well, he probably is. Don't be harsh on yourself, Joel. He calls Samoa Joe big and hard. Joel pretty much gets through on his looks. We have an interesting gimmick now. It's Shah Samuels, who is a cockney with a butcher gimmick, and he talks about wife beating and child beating. Really like this guy in his promos. He has anger issues just like the Hawk. Oh no, Grado is back again. He's begging for a final chance. Grado has drove 10 hours to be here. Gail convinces the other judges to give him a chance. Somehow Grado is just shoved into round 2 despite everyone hating him. So now everyone will fight in the ring to see who sucks and who doesn't. The twins really struggle here and they can't manage a hip toss for some reason. Grado is now in the ring with Shah Samuels. Al Snow pulls Samuels aside and he basically tells Samuels to rough Grado up. Al jumps up and down with happiness outside the ring as Samuels beats Grado. All that's left are the eliminations, and this time every single wrestler makes it through, even the Owens twins. It ends with Rockstar Spud giving Grado and his man boobs a pep talk. Let's check out one more episode to reach the halfway point in this show. So this one is going to be where the real in-ring action takes place. We'll see 6 matches take place in front of a live London crowd. Noam Dar starts out with El Ligero. Noam Dar with a nice fisherman's buster for a 2 count. They start kicking each other and it looks like El Ligero has it with a super kick. El Ligero springs off the ropes with another kick which Dar catches and turns into a submission. El Ligero makes the ropes. The crowd are really into this one. El Ligero hits a Death Valley driver on the ring apron which doesn't get the job done. Ligero wins seconds later of a springboard DDT. They got about 3 minutes to show what they could do and it was good. Now it's a tag match. Joel Redman and Martin Stone take on Richard Parliament and RJ Singh. The 2 smaller wrestlers hit drop kicks. Richard Parliament has the worst haircut I've ever seen. Martin Stone for a big dropkick from the top on Parliament for a 2. Redmond hits a dropkick followed by a double Northern Light suplex, which is pretty cool. Singh is the only popular wrestler of the crowd. He hits a moonsault from the top with his knees smashing into Redmond's head. Martin Stone shuts him down with a powerbomb followed by a Redmond knee drop. They hit a double team move that they call the London Bridge. An impressive win from the two bigger guys. Parliament did virtually nothing in this match, which is a shame, although maybe not with the state of that haircut. The ladies are up next. It's a fatal four-way. Kaylee Ray will take on Nikki Storm and the Owens twins. Nikki Storm is suddenly really short. She's too small to reach the others. It didn't seem like she was short earlier, did it? She throws a tantrum and sits out for a bit. Kaylee Ray takes the Owens twins out of a dropkick. Owens twins start working together to dominate and they fight Nikki Storm on the outside and then Kaylee Ray catches them all with a suicide dive. Nikki Storm makes Kaylee fall on a nutsack to slow her down. The Owens twins stop Nikki from doing anything and they hit a double suplex on Kaylee. The Owens twins now fight because they want to win. Then they suddenly change their mind and they work together again and hit a side slam leg drop combination. Kaylee hits both of them with a springboard dropkick. She follows that up by using a gory bomb to smash one on top of the other. And then she hits a swanton bomb on the Owens twins. Pin's broken up though.
Dude, I was watching the TNA British Bootcamp Season 2 the other day, man. And this dude, Kaylee Ray, she stole my swanton bomb finishing maneuver, man. But it didn't finish. Man, I'm going back to Carolina. And I'll go tell my stoner friend Shannon all about you, Kaylee Ray.
Nikki Cross wins the match with a sneaky roll-up. Kaylee was really impressive here, no matter what Jeff Hardy says. Mark Andrews versus Chris Travis next. Andrews throws him out the ring and hits him with a big plancha. He tries to follow up with a diving head scissors but gets caught and powerbomb on the ring apron. Nice leg lariat now. Travis seems to be a bit of a hybrid wrestler. Andrews starts his comeback now and he springboards into the ring with a crossbody for a 2. Travis elbows him in the face and yells "winner," which silences the crowd. Andrews kicks him in the face and hits a Frankensteiner and a standing shooting star. Surprisingly, that's just a 2. He tries another diving head scissors but he's caught and buckle bombed. Travis now with a suplex into the powerbomb. Crowd chant, "This is awesome." He tries it again but at the last second Andrews reverses it into a Hurricanrana. That's not a 3 either, that should have been the finish. So many false finishes in this match. Andrews now hits a side effect followed by a shooting star from the top, and this time that really is the 3. Really impressive match for 5 minutes to be fair. More of a heavyweight affair now. Dave Mastiff takes on Rampage Brown. They force Rampage to cut a promo before the match because they're concerned about his mistakes earlier in the show. He does cut a much better promo and Dave Mastiff makes his way out. Both men are too large and can't score knockdowns. Brown now hits a nice dropkick to Mastiff which does take him down. Mastiff follows this with one of his own. Rampage comes off the second rope now with a shoulder block. He tries a second shoulder block but he's crushed by a Mastiff clothesline. Nice release German suplex now. These matches are surprisingly good on this show. Mastiff tries a split-legged moonsault, Jesus, but he misses it. Rampage takes advantage with a boot to the face followed by a Samoan drop. You know, I hate it when some wrestlers use the Samoan drop. It should just be saved for Samoans and fat guys, and Rampage Brown is neither. Brown can't hit the pile driver and he's turned inside out for Big German. Mastiff hits the cannonball in the corner for the pin and the win. Fun heavyweight match there, really impressed with Mastiff. Just the main event left now, which I'm not looking forward to. Jay Samuels the Butcher will be taking on Grado, all because of that stupid shoot fight earlier, if you can even call it that. Grado actually comes out to Madonna's Like a Prayer. I know this is the Indies, but it's weird seeing Grado come out to this song, especially on TV. I know a lot of my American viewers don't understand the Grado gimmick. It was basically what you're watching now. His entrance was extremely fun and engaging, but it just didn't work without the Madonna track. I'm planning a video on him soon because he tends to split opinion. Samuels jumps him straight away whilst he grits his teeth. They should have made him wear a vest to go with his wife beater gimmick. At least I hope it's a gimmick. Samuels cheats behind the ref's back to choke Grado with a scarf. Grado is launched into the guardrail and the steps. Samuels takes Grado up for a walk to Al Snow to get some encouragement. He beats him up on the commentary table. Shah tries a powerbomb on the stage but he's backdropped about an inch onto the wooden floor. Grado's now firing up in the ring. He hits the wee boot which is somehow the 3. Probably the worst match of the night, but the crowd certainly enjoyed Grado's music and celebrations. Just the judges' decision left now. Al Snow eliminates Noam Dar and El Ligero. This surprised me, but then again I think the reason was they believe they have wrestlers who are a better fit for the X Division. RJ Singh is now eliminated, followed by Martin Stone and the Prime Minister. Joel Redman is gone now too, that one surprised me. It feels like no one's going through here. No reason is given for any of these eliminations. The girls are up next for their turn. Al Snow eliminates the first Owens twin and doesn't even know her name. He just says, "You, come forward." Finally, someone is given a shot for the next round. It's Kaylee Ray. Well, if she wasn't going to get through, nobody ever was. Nikki Storm's eliminated, and she seems like she's about to kick off, but then she leaves. The final twin is eliminated. You will not be going forward in British Bootcamp. Mark Andrews and Chris Travis are here now. Al Snow throws us a curveball here. He says not one of you will be going forward in this competition, because both of you will be. Then there's a voiceover from JB saying actually, Chris Travis is unable to go forward due to personal issues. So instead, Noam Dar. Noam Dar, the backup option. Mandrews is bursting with happiness. The judges are very happy with the two heavyweights and they praise how much fun the match was. The judges decide to send them both through, which was the right decision. Rampage doesn't know what to do, and they tell him that he can smile now. Strangely, Al Snow eliminates Shah Samuels, I guess because the match was boring, who knows. And of course, Grado will be moving to the next round. The next round takes place on US soil. Grado makes a penis joke and it ends. What an infuriating episode that was. All these eliminations given without any explanation whatsoever. It would have been nice to know what the thought process was. A bit of insight would have been nice, but the only insight we got was a throwaway comment from Gail Kim hinting that no one stood out as much as one certain X Division type wrestler. And you can expect that to be Mandrews. In closing, it was really cool seeing some of today's stars. Well, none of them are exactly stars, but some are having moderate success, so it was cool seeing their humble beginnings. The show is completely different to the first season of British Bootcamp. It's repetitive but based in reality. It felt like the majority of wrestlers made it through on merit. There wasn't really any sort of silly made-up storylines to push the narrative of the show along like the last series. Then there's the whole Grado storyline, which is obviously a setup. I haven't enjoyed it so far as much as the first series because the cast was much smaller in the first series and we got to know all the wrestlers. This one is like we get to speak for 2 minutes and then they're gone. That being said, as this tournament progresses, it should get a bit less repetitive and we should see a bit more focus on the wrestlers that we do have left on the show. But those first episodes were not good at all. It felt like 90% filler. Couldn't you have shoved them all together? You could pretty much just catch the last 5 minutes and be up to date with the only important part of the show. Al Snow is an extremely hateable judge. He does things for no reason and he's a dick. Samoa Joe is so pointless he might as well not be here at all. And Gail Kim? Well, she actually comes across as likeable and reasonable. Rockstar Spud is a dweeb, and if you don't agree with that, I'll crack you open and make you bleed.